What's up, guys? Mike here from Ekim Knives, and I wanted to take the opportunity today to kind of explain what's been going on, where I've been, why the sporadic uploads with videos and even Instagram posts lately. You know, just kind of what's been going on and what to expect from me and Ekim Knives in general moving forward. Right? I'll start it with to dispel a handful of rumors, not many, but the fact that I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so don't worry, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting YouTube. I'm not quitting Instagram. I'm not quitting anything. I'm still going to keep moving forward. The reason you haven't seen me is because I have a lot of irons in the fire, as you will. There's been a plan for about a year now that I've been trying to follow up on. And stuff that I needed to kind of limit my YouTube stuff and limit my Instagram stuff and some other projects to move forward and to press on, if you will. Before we discuss the elephant in the room, this guy here, I wanted to share some great news with you guys. I had a boy. I had my first kid, my first son. His name's Joseph Michael. Best thing that ever happened to me my whole life. July 31st. So I took a few weeks off to help my wife out and to kind of hang out with my my new little family. Excellent, excellent feeling. Terrifying. The whole pregnancy thing is scary to me, at least. I'm just glad everything came out okay. My wife's okay. My little boy's okay. And we're very, very happy. So, knowing that my son was coming kind of kicked off a chain of events of it's either sink or swim time, because I knew things were going to change once he got here. And they certainly have. So once we found out we were pregnant 10, 11 months ago, or whatever the math comes out to, 10 months, I knew that I would have to do something drastic. And that's when the sporadicness started on YouTube. So I set my plan into motion, and one of the big steps of my plan was getting this, the elephant in the room here. That's a Tormach 770. It's a CNC machine, for those of you that aren't familiar. And the reason I got that is because I'm honest with myself. I know that I'm not that good at production. Right? I'm great at prototyping and figuring things out, and I'm a ninja on Google. I could find anything on the internet. But I'm not that good. If you tell me to drill 7,000 holes one day, I'll get to 2,000 or 3,000 and then be done with it. I don't want to drill holes anymore. The machine doesn't get bored like I do. It doesn't have ADD. But that came with a lot of figuring out how to buy it. Number one, they're very expensive, these things. Number two, where I'm going to put it. And number three, how am I going to run it? I don't know how to run these. I'm zero experience in running a CNC. So that came with its own set of obstacles. So little by little, I've been chipping away at those things. So the first was getting the machine in here to see if it was even feasible. So because of that, I had to build another little shop next door. It's right next to this one. And I just took some of the dirty stuff. As you can see, I got my blast cabinets in here, and I got my compressor in here, and just the dirty stuff and the noisy stuff I just separated from the other shop just to free up some room. Because remember, I have a 12 by 12 shop, my main shop, and the Tormach takes up about 1/3 of it now. But I was able to get it in here, as terrifying as it was moving this thing. Yeah, it shows up in a crate. You have to kind of assemble it, and the shop's a foot off the ground, so I had to lift it into a trailer, back the trailer up to the shop, and then kind of swing it into the shop and then position it. Scary stuff, all with a shop crane and by myself too. But I managed. Now that the machine's in here, you have to outfit it with a lot of expensive cutters like end mills and tool holders and all kinds of other machinist jargon. Like, the vise for this thing is $2,000. It's insane. So I've been slowly chipping away at that too. And kind of learning at what I need, what I don't need. And Luma Blades, who also has a channel, I'll link his channel down below. He doesn't really do a lot of videos, but he's also on Instagram. So find him, he's a good guy. He's been helping me out tremendously. He's local to me. Now, the hardest part of a CNC machine. A lot of people think you just buy one, hit a button, and out pops these wonderful finished knives, but that's certainly not the case. The hardest part is learning how to run them. People go to college for this. And I had considered it. I looked up local schools, and I was going to go back to school to learn how to run this. But Jason, Luma Blades, offered to help. And we've been doing 5, 6, 7-hour sessions, one-on-one online together, to learn how to 3D model. And I've been recording some of these sessions and some of the other stuff, like what it takes to learn to run a CNC machine.
This is your timeline at the bottom. So you go to your menu, go to where it says joints. There is that you only have one joint, so you know it's that one. Go over to this little arrow, edit joint limits.
So I'll share a little bit of that with you guys later on. So when I do get some shop time, I've been working on the albatrosses because I need money to fund the CNC machine, which I still need to get more components for. So instead of doing a video how to make a frame lock, I've been in the shop making frame locks. Like this albatross here, which is almost done. I have 8 of these on deck right now, as you can see in those little plastic totes back there, those plastic containers. But these are about 90% done, 80% done. So finishing those up, get some money in the shop to keep moving forward. As you can see, kind of hard to fit YouTube time in here. On top of that, I did a collaboration project with Jim Skelton. Now I'm proud to call Jim a friend. And even with this collaboration project, I remember when I was just getting into knives, right? Not even knife making. I was a knife collector back then. Just production knives. I didn't have a whole lot of money. So I would watch Jim's early videos, right, as just a YouTube consumer. And think, man, I really wish I could afford a knife like that, or look how cool that is. And then I started just making like terrible fixed blades, awful fixed blades. And I remember thinking, wow, I really, really wish that I get to the level where I get something in front of Jim's camera and Jim could showcase my work. It would, you know, shoot me over the moon. And that finally happened. And it just so happens that not only did I get my work in front of Jim's camera, but it was a collaboration project that we did together. We did a couple of fixed blades. I actually have the scales for another one I'm working on right now, because there was 5. This one's marble carbon fiber and some brass liners. It needs a lot of cleanup work, but it's in the works. There are 5 total. He did a video on the first 3 that we sent out. The way the collaboration worked was Jim ground the knives. They were blanks that I sent him. Jim ground them and did some of the flat work and everything like that. And I put handles on it and sharpened them up. But it was a total pleasure working with Jim, and loved every minute of it. And so, on top of that, I also came across somebody I didn't know. That fly is back. I came across somebody that I really didn't know was out there, and Simple Little Life Jeremy kind of introduced me to him. And his name is Craig. He's Chopped Knives on Instagram, and I think he also has a YouTube channel, Chopped Knives. And he's doing this podcast, this knife recording, where he interviews knife makers, guys like Walter Sorrells, guys like Aaron Goff, and of course Jeremy from Simple Little Life, big names in YouTube and in knife making in general. And he interviews them, and I somehow got an interview with him. He actually interviewed me. I'm just some guy in a shed on Long Island. But if you want to listen to the podcast of me being interviewed by Craig from Chopped Knives, I'll leave a link for that down in the description below. So, as you can see, guys, there's been a lot of not only getting things to work, learning new processes, and kind of expanding and working with some of the big names like Jim Skelton, or getting an interview out there. The stuff I would never dream that I would be able to do. And I'm starting to do it. So it's that point where the hard work is starting to pay off just a little bit. And now it's time for me to push forward and really take advantage of that and kind of go forward. And, you know, take Ekim Knives to the next level, if you will. And now, I kind of alluded to this plan, and if you listen to the podcast, you'll find out exactly why. But I'll hint at it a little more. In 2 months, something big's going to happen. In 2 months, there's going to be a drastic change for my daily life. Now, right now, I work 60 to 70 hours a week at my day job, driving trucks. I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning now. And not because the baby's screaming, sometimes that's the case. My poor wife is the one that gets up with the baby for the most part. I get up at 2 in the morning to go to work, 3 in the morning to go to work. And then I come home and I do knife stuff. And lately it's been the fusion training with Jason till 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it's been some long days. But something big is going to change at the end of October. Provided nothing goes wrong. Alright, if you want to find out exactly what it is, I'm sure you could figure it out if you tried. But if you want to find out exactly what it is, listen to the podcast with Craig from Chopped Knives. It's very well done. He's a skilled interviewer for sure. So definitely worth a listen, even if you don't listen to mine, because I tend to ramble. Alright guys, that's it for this one. This is Mike here from Ekim Knives, and I'll see you guys on the next video.